normally joins us on Great Day Live to talk about Goodwill, Kentucky, which is changing lives. But this morning, he's joining us to talk about how he's changed his own. Now, DeVone, I want to share with our viewers, we follow each other on Twitter, and I always love all of your posts about Goodwill. I mean, you keep people informed, a lot of positivity. And so all of a sudden, I saw this amazing post about the transformation that happened, and I'd love for you to share the details.
Yeah, so Angie, for about 6.5 years, I was in a job that had me traveling the country and made it really difficult for me to commit to some healthy disciplines to keep myself in shape. So I gained a lot of weight, and when I started at when I started at Goodwill, on May 13th of last year, I made a decision that I wanted to get myself in shape and commit to some healthy lifestyle habits. And so on May 20th, I started with the trainer, and that began this transformation of mine that I've been on now for a little bit over a year.
So how did you get connected with your trainer? And please give a shout out.
Yeah, so I've got the best trainer in the world. His name is DeVone. I've known him for years. He played football for the University of Louisville. We go to church together, have a lot of mutual friends. And I knew he had his own gym. He and his wife started a gym called By Any Means Fitness. And I reached out to him when I knew that I was ready to make this commitment. And we put a plan in place to start a food log before I even made it into his gym, just to track what I was eating so he could pay attention to that first. And then he got me in the gym with him where we do one-on-one trainings, Angie, about 3 times a week for about an hour. He tells me you don't have to be long to be strong. And he was right. He's absolutely right.
So how has your eating changed as well?
Yeah, so, one of the things that he made me aware of is that foods are so much healthier when they're natural, obviously. So the more foods that you can get and cook from home, the less ingredients a certain food has, the better. And so I just spent a lot more time cooking in my own kitchen than I ever have before, using natural ingredients, not eating a lot of processed fried foods or any, quite frankly, and almost completely eliminated sugar and salt out of my diet. And boy, did the results come fast.
And share what those results are. I mean, I am one of those, and I think we've got a lot of people in our viewership who enjoy a good before and after, whatever that may be.
Yeah, well, so for me, I went into his gym just a tad bit over 190 pounds. And some people will say, oh, that's not a lot. But for me and my frame, that was extremely heavy. And so over the course of about 5 or 6 months, that weight just started dropping off until right before COVID-19 hit, I did a weigh-in and I had lost more than 30 pounds. And so in addition to losing those 30 pounds, we did a lot to help what he called sculpt my body. Didn't want me to have what he called a cardio body by just running and doing a lot of cardio and getting a lean body. But for the first time in my life, Angie, I had a muscle. I've never had a muscle before in my life. But he had me lifting weights in ways that I literally never had done before. And it made all the difference in transforming how my body looked and felt.
I mean, can we just say not just a muscle? I mean, we've got the receipts. A lot of muscles and a six-pack, and I'm just going to throw this out here. And you are how old?
I am, I'll be 48 in a few months. Mm-hmm.
In terms of the shape you are in now, can you compare it to any other point in your life?
I used to run 5 miles every day, and I had a great amount of endurance then, but I wasn't strong. I didn't feel strong. I just felt like I could run a long ways, and I was pretty lean. Now, with this combination of eating really, really clean on a regular basis, lifting, resistance type of training, weight training, I will tell you, I've never felt better in all my 47 years. I've changed, not just the way that I look, but I will tell you, I sleep better. I have a much more clarity of thought now. My thoughts are a lot clearer now than they were before. I feel so much better all around. I tell people it's the best medicine you can take.
And just a complete stress reliever also.
Absolutely, absolutely, it is for me. I love my job at Goodwill. It is the best job I've ever had. But with COVID-19 and all of these other issues that we've been wrestling with, I won't pretend that it's been easy these last few months. It's been a chore, like it has been for anyone else who's had to deal with this in a leadership role. The saving grace for me is that I have been able to work out. And so I'll tell you, Angie, with the gyms closing down, it's changed the way that I had to work out, because I was going to my trainer's gym to work out with him, where he's got all of this great equipment. And then we had to switch to doing virtual training, where we FaceTime one another. I put him on the screen on my television, and he watches me with dumbbells and resistance bands and all sort of things in my living room, helping to keep me on track. It's changed. It still works, but it's not quite the gym.
Now, you have an amazing trainer who, of course, is holding you accountable, and I think accountability is a major part. But you also have a 10, soon to be 11-year-old son who's really important in your life, and he's watching that.
He is. And for me, I want to give him an example of what being fit and healthy looks like. And so he watches me work out. He goes to the gym with me occasionally when he's not in school and I'm at the gym. But now that school's been out with COVID-19, he's here at home watching me work out, and it's inspired him. He's actually picked up a weight here recently, trying to figure out if he can build some muscles in the same way. So I think those healthy habits are ones that we can pass down to our children, just like, unfortunately, Angie, we can do the same thing with unhealthy habits. And so I'm turning into one of those guys who is not only getting himself in shape, but I'm spreading the message to any and everyone around me in my personal circle, because I just believe it's so important for us to take care of ourselves, because if we don't do that, there's no guarantee that we can be a great support to the other people who need us.
Okay, there are a lot out there, the COVID-19, and we're not just talking about the virus, but the pounds that some of us have put on, or, I mean, maybe it's just been for decades or so, where you just haven't been healthy. Yeah. And we have people from a variety of ages who would tell you, I don't feel good. Oh, but maybe it's too late for me, or I'm too old, or I'm too busy, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. What would you say to someone? Because you're proof. You're definitely proof. You have a child, you have a very stressful job that requires long hours. You're very active in the community, but yet you were able to do it.
I was, and it's one word. It's really one word. It's about a commitment. It's about making a commitment. Angie, I will tell you, when I first started with my trainer on the very first day, which was May 20th, 2019, I went in not for a workout, but just an assessment so he could determine where I was on this spectrum of health and fitness and endurance and strength. And that assessment kicked my butt. So much so that I drove back to the office. I work out during my lunch breaks, and I went back to the office and I sat in the driveway in the parking lot for about 30 minutes. In my mind, trying to figure out how the heck am I going to get out of this, because there's no way I can commit to doing this if the assessment was that bad. But for some way, somehow, I figured it out, mustered up enough energy, and committed to go back again for the next workout, and did it again for the next workout, to the point where it got easy, comfortable, and addicting to me. And I would tell people that it's just about making the commitment. It's not going to be easy, especially in the beginning. It's going to be extremely difficult in the beginning. But if you commit to it, it gets easier and easier, and you start to feel better and better. And the results, once you start to see your body change, that becomes addicting. And so I won't lie, I spent a lot of time in the mirror as my body was changing, looking at this old guy who was turning into this young guy all over again.
Good for you. Much sure. Well, DeVone, thank you so much for the motivation, and congratulations on your commitment. I just appreciate that you're using that to inspire other people.
Thank you very much. I hope someone is inspired. You can do it.
You can follow DeVone on Twitter under the handle DeVone Holt.